Good morning. How is everyone here today? Give you a minute or two for people to join. I thought I'm going to do a little bit of a longer live today because 5 minutes isn't really enough, is it? It's a good wee kickstart and it's a good wee reminder, but in general, we need to be doing a little bit more than 5 minutes to really get ourselves into state and to change. Remember what we're doing. The idea with the live for 5 was morning Helen is just that daily reminder. You know, most of us are just we're so busy or tired or overwhelmed that we're just not present. We're not consciously thinking. I'm talking for myself here. So it's morning, Patricia. So the idea of the live for 5 is just to gently remind us, it's that daily repetition that really helps us get on the right track, whether it's with our food, whether it's with our protocols. Because what I can tell you from 15 to 20 years of working with food and the mind, I've been working with food for a lot and exercise for a lot longer than that. The reason that people fail in healing, fail, losing weight, fail, whatever it is that they're trying to achieve and they can't get to, it's quite simple why they don't get the result they want. And that is, you're not following the protocols for long enough. Now you think if you fell, tore all your ligaments in your leg or your shoulder or anything like that, you would not expect it to heal, morning Mary, in a few days. You would know that the path to recovery is going to take months. And you would absolutely know that. You would know you'd keep the plaster on, then you'd probably go for some physio. And, you know, it might take up to a year for the body to be completely healed and mobile and strong again. But for some reason, we don't apply that to our internal organs. Now, our digestive system, which actually the digestive system is outside the body because the food goes in, and if you think about it, there's a space that the food goes through and out the other side. So the digestive system is actually outside the body and it's semi-permeable. So when we put food and drink in, it gets absorbed by the body. It gets taken by the bacteria, the actual ecosystem that live in our digestive system, and it gets drawn in to whatever it needs to be done. So is the food that we're putting in helping the army for health, or is the food and drink that we're putting in destroying the army for health and feeding the other army? Because there's a balance there, right? There's a symbiotic relationship. As there is a symbiotic relationship between the gut and the heart and the brain, we are a signalling system. And we, believe it or not, are the ones that are sending the signals through. Now, much as, you know, I'm bored with nutrition because it's such an emotive subject and it's so difficult for people to change. And obviously right now I'm on the Gerson therapy with a friend, and we're observing and documenting the struggles and the challenges of eating food that is tasteless. Ain't no good, nice way to put it. My grandson said, "Can I taste your soup, Gaga?" He said, "That tastes like water." I said, "Yeah, I know, it does, watery vegetables." Because I've been so conditioned to put salt in the soup for my whole life. Now taking it out is a big change, and my mind wants to say, "That's not right. That doesn't taste right." So the really for me the big experiment with the Gerson therapy is the psychological side of it. And now what I'm really fully realising is the longevity of the behaviours. Whether you want to lose weight, whether you want to heal, whether you're taking alcohol or drugs or pharmaceutical drugs out of your life, it's how do you on a daily basis maintain these good choices and behaviours long enough. Like what I'm doing right now is taking all the sodium, putting potassium in and getting the sodium out the cells, using flax oil to cleanse the cholesterol out of my arteries and off the receptor sites in the cell membrane. So to clean everything up, to create this. And I'm also supporting the liver with coffee, so that when the liver is filtering all the crap that's coming out the body, and sometimes it's like here in the bath, the shower or the sink, it gets clogged and the water can't get out, or it's very inefficient at your routes of elimination. So my liver is getting a lot of cleansing right now, so that I can get all the rubbish out my body. So what happens when you go into that state is a lot of emotions can come up, and a lot of resistance can come up, and anger. And I'm actually going to be doing a podcast with Louis Romeo after this, talking about how, you know, when you're in the 12-step program, which is a program I recommend for everybody, where we have a framework, or the permaculture, that's the one we're looking at now, a framework for how we can live so that our ecosystem is in a symbiotic relationship with each other. And also, are we in a symbiotic relationship with the universe, with the divine, with nature? So let's go on to what we're going to do today. Some breathing and letting go, because this is the other thing. In my experience, do you feel better at this point? Yes, I do, Patricia. But I've not suffered that much. But it's detoxing can be a messy road. But again, so can chemo and radiation. I think healing, no matter whether you take the allopathic route, whether you take the natural route, or whether you combine them, you know, you have to look at yourself, and it ain't easy. So let's not kid on, it is. I think I've had a much easier ride, certainly than my friend that's doing it with me, because I've been in this world. I've been in this sacrificial state before, where you give up things in order to get better. And I'm older. I don't have the same desire to do things that I used to do, because I've allowed myself to degenerate. And this is a massive experiment for me to see exactly how much strength and flexibility and energy I can get back. So watch this space. It's definitely happening. There is no doubt about it. But it's really just a case of, can I sustain? I've only been doing it. It's not even 6 weeks yet. It's nothing. So how long am I going to do it? That's what everybody's intrigued about. Will I carry on the full Gerson, or will I adapt into another where I am allowed to eat more diversity of foods? I don't know. Right now, though, I'm sticking on. Morning, Jane. But here's what I have observed watching hundreds of people trying to heal themselves. The primary reason is that they give up with the protocols. You have to, if you were going into chemotherapy, etc., you don't say, oh, well, I'll do it for 2 months, or I'll do it for, no, you don't. You go, this is it. So, but if you were having chemo and radiation and maybe surgery, you know you're out of commission in terms of the life that you used to live for at least a year. And what's interesting going into the Gerson group is that people are going in that knowing they're going to be on it for 2 years. Psychologically, you're like, this is what I have to do for 2 years to get my life back. Now, a lot of people will just say, I'm not doing that. And I think that's completely fine. I can totally get that. Totally get it. But if you're like, right, okay, if I can focus on this for 2 years, find a way to make it happen, add in other protocols, Joe Dispenza's work, Bruce Lipton's works, Sondra Barrett's work, Greg Braden's work, if I can find a way to be really, because let's face it, what are we talking about here? Eating fruit and veg. What is so difficult about that? You think about it realistically. And then all of this stuff, because you really have to look at yourself. Not out there, not searching for somebody out there to heal you. It's this innate capacity in every single one of us. The body heals itself. If you cut yourself or break a leg, you know it'll heal. You know perfectly well it'll heal, but you know it will take time. Healing in the inside's the same, and it's invisible. You don't know what the hell's going on in there. You don't trust. It's like, what are these microbes doing? Are they fixing that? Are they fixing my liver? Am I because we can't see it, and we're so obsessed with tests and x-rays and MRIs, and don't get me wrong, sometimes they are critical to help in the process. But often they're not. You know perfectly well you're tired, you're achy, your joints are achy, you've got skin conditions, you've got bloating, you've got reflux, you've got pain maybe. That's the body talking to you, telling you you're out of balance. And then you're part in it is, how can I get back into balance? And how long will that take? And I'll tell you something, it can be to do with your age as well. The great thing about being in your 30s, your 20s and 30s, if you get sick, sad and awful as that is, that you'll get better faster usually. Once you get older, you're just a little bit slow and a wee bit more stuck in your ways. That's the way neuroscience works. The more you've been doing something, the harder it is to do it, to move out of the gutter of habit, because that's what it is. So when we're like, right, oh God, if I do this like every day, I'm going to get what I always got. But if I can just find the energy to do it this new way, to point in the direction that I want to go in, then I'm going to get a different result. It's obvious, right? If I practice the piano every single day, or the guitar, or whatever it is, surfing, I'm going to get better at it. Of course, we know that. But we've never really taken that very physical aspect, like if I do something often enough, I'll get good at it, into our emotional, spiritual aspect, which is if I focus on faith, trust and surrender, if I focus on the result that I want to get, I am healing. And this journey of healing is because there's a lot of people telling you can't do it. Oh, that's incurable. Oh, that's terminal. It's not. It may not be. We're all terminal, let's face it. But when people are, you give your power away and let somebody else tell you your destiny, because that's what we're doing on a daily basis. You can't do that. I hear myself sometimes going to do it with my kids. You can't do that because based on your limitation. That's how we're living. Look at this COVID story right now. We're living through other people's fear. Other people's fear projected onto us saying, if you don't do this, I can't feel safe. How much power are you giving away to others and just do it for the sake of peace? And when you move on to this spiritual journey and really tune in to the divine, you may be getting information that doesn't feel comfortable because you're getting stretched out with your comfort zone. And that's where the magic is. Outside your comfort zone. You do what you always did. If you're taking the past and putting it into the future, and taking the past and putting it into the future, and never going outside, never using this magnificent brain and all the dendrites and all the energy, the energetic magic of our imagination and our focus and our attention, well, you're going to stay where you are. And if you're happy there, then stay there. But if you're thinking, nah, I want better health, I want better relationships, I want more money, more abundance, I want to feel more purpose, I want to wake up in the morning excited about my life, well, yeah, things have to change. Sorry, the C word, that's how it has to happen. So when we start putting in great fermented foods, delicious, see the stuff that Janice Klein makes, get on her blog, her website, unbelievably delicious and nutritious food that is going to feed your ecosystem, your biome, which will then transfer the goodness, and your brain and your heart will start to work in a completely different way, and you will start to feel excited about your life simply by putting the right food in. And then the next most important thing is letting go. Because see, the other thing that I see is people do not keep the protocols up for long enough, and they're not honest about the protocols. You missed that name there, Lilias. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Nick. You need to be more specific. The other thing is you need to write down what you're doing. Sometimes you're going to have to wait 6 months to start to see a result. And the other thing is sometimes you'll feel an awful lot worse before you start to feel better. And you need to understand and be willing to go through that, the darkness, to come out into the light on the other side. And if your program needs to be adjusted, you need to have been very honest about what you're doing so that you're not saying, oh, I tried everything, when you didn't actually try everything. You tried what suited you for a little bit of time, but you didn't get the feedback because you didn't do it long enough. So honesty with yourself and your protocols is really critical here. Janice Klein is a foodie person. Janice Klein, yes, sorry. Yeah, Janice, Nourished by Nature. You will see Janice's work. So, and it's going back to the way we used to preserve foods back in the day, but you're taking a good food and making it better. But then we get into the mind, the subconscious mind, and the limitation of other people around you. It is so critical to be around other like-minded souls, particularly at this time. If you can't speak your truth, and if people won't listen to you and what you're saying, what you're wanting to achieve in your life, and they're not there to support you, then you need to get other mates. You need to get another tribe. It's that simple. Because right now, we all need to be tribed up. We are facing this phenomenal challenge in our life of either living by our truth or being forced into other behaviours by others in fear. And to stay in your truth and to stay solid with your beliefs and your heart and your intuition, if you are wavering in a wee bit of a scaredy cat and a wee bit like approval and a wee bit not good with your strong boundaries, you need to have other strong people around you to support you through this time to the new earth. So what needs to happen is you need to let go of all fear. If you're functioning from fear, you're not functioning from your heart. And that takes courage. You have to let go of the fear, let go of the stress, let go of everything, all the limitation, so that you can truly stand in your power and be the phenomenal force for truth that you can only be when you let go. So, and being willing to look at your dark shadow side and the crap and being honest. It's the only way ahead. We really now have to own our shadow self and work on it and let it go and absolutely stand in our truth and be willing to let people go. Because this is the time, this is the big shift that they've been talking about forever. So let's do what time are we at? That's me being rabbiting on. This is what happens when I get on here, get so excited about the mission, the Heal Scotland mission. And the book is in the printers as we speak. And it will be a phenomenal help to you. It's simple. It's nothing you've not heard me going on about before. It's just going to give you the simple things that you can do to reconnect to your true self, to who you really are, and to the divine, to nature, and to be able to just move out of suffering. Because this is, to me, what it's about. Moving out of suffering and heavy three-dimensional energies into these much lighter places with great excitement as to the potential of us. But we can't really, you can go alone, that's not true. There is so much more fun to have others with you, and others that are willing to step outside their comfort zone into the unknown. Because trust me, control, security and approval, you're hanging on to that, you ain't going. You cannot go. You need to be willing to fly. You need to be willing to move into the unknown. Check out Joe Dispenza if you don't believe me. You need to be willing to go. I don't know what this action's going to create. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what the future's going to be like. When you're in that place, that is when you absolutely can be in this phenomenal transition, creation of the new earth. You can order the book on my website, liliasinclair.com, healscotland.com, helpyourself.com. You can pre-order it, it'll be out in a few weeks. Okay, so let's do some breathing. And then let's do some letting go. If when we start to work with the unified field, with the quanta, we then have to move, it's invisible in nature, obviously. So we're moving into the imagination, and that's where our imagination can be limited. The conscious mind will say, you can't do that. What if something terrible happens? And what if people don't approve of you? What if you lose control? And what if you lose money? What if you lose friends? What if? That's the conscious mind coming in going, stay where you are. Stay here. It's safe here. It's comfortable here. And that's when you have to go, that's the ego. That's the conscious mind. Trying to keep me safe, but it's fine. I don't need to be kept safe anymore. That was for the old me. This is now, I can never ever not be safe. That's just an illusion. So what can I do now? I'm going to look and I'm going to see and I'm going to feel. This comes from feeling, from intuition. This is a totally new language that you maybe have never spoken before. You've been aware that the body's talking to you, but you've just ignored it because you didn't have the courage. So now we're moving into courage and acceptance and into peace. We're not going to be held back by the limitations of our minds and the limitations of other people's minds. We are now like expanding. Our consciousness is rising. Is that scary? Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm excited, I'm scared. It's like, oh, the energy's starting to move. And that can be really scary. But if you allow it, but if you let go of the fear, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to breathe, and then we're going to let go of all the fear, all the limitation. And I invite you to let go with me. Now, it's completely and utterly up to you. It seems to be a human thing to hang on, cling on. Oh, I can't go out my comfort zone. I can't go out. What if I die? Darling, what if you fly? So this is all about flying. But you need to have the courage to take off. And maybe you're not quite there yet. Maybe you're just like, it sounds, I like the idea, but I'm still too scared. But just gently, the butterfly transformation comes, and you are able to release, allow yourselves to expand, connect to the unified field, and for you to just let go of the illusion that you were trapped in a physical body, and you can absolutely fly from this place. And that is when the magic happens. That is when healing happens. That is when you suddenly see the relief from the constraints and the confines and the concepts and the labels that you've been living through, that we've been given, that we've taken on. And we move away from blame, shame and complain, and we rise above all of it. So you want to come on that journey with me now. Get your big girl and big boy pants on, and let's do it. So we're going to start off with some conscious breathing, and then we're going to move into a meditation and a releasing session. Okay, so it'll take us about 15-20 minutes. We just go with what the divine wants to show us. So we're going to start off just with the 478, because it really is the most powerful, simple tool that you can teach your children, your family, anybody. 478, get that through thick skull, through the habitual behaviour and into your embodied behaviours. As soon as you're moving out of state, 478 to bring you back in. 478 to get into state. Okay. So breathing in, hold, and out. And in, hold, and out. And in, hold, and out. In, hold, and out. Okay, we're going to do some bellow breathing. So many wonderful, wonderful breathing techniques out there. And I think, again, the ones that I'm teaching you on here are to really create cellular expansion. And they're very specific. They're not a way that you breathe all day, every day. And I think people are getting confused with the two different things. There's the ones that in the breath cure are exercises to teach you how to breathe differently in a moment-to-moment basis. Whereas things like Wim Hof, Soma, there's what's the other guy? I can't remember. The breathing guy, they're actually exercises to put us into this more expanded state. So it's the difference between a meditation breathing and an actual practice to help us breathe differently in and out through the nose for 24 hours a day. But some of these other exercises are just to create this expansion and to create this level of oxygen in the body. so that we can really go into a much deeper meditation much more quickly. So I hope that differentiates. Some are exercises just for meditation, that's how I see it, and then others are practices to change how you breathe on a habitual level, to embody different breathing modalities, because a lot of us are breathing in and out through our mouth and putting ourselves into fight or flight by accident, and we're bypassing an integral system through the nose and into the lungs, a filtering system on every level that helps cleanse our meridians, which are our energy lines, our energy centres, filtering out the physical and bringing the oxygen into the brain for greater levels of peace and healing. So I hope that differentiates the two things. Somebody's like, are you breathing out through your mouth here? It's what are we meant to do? On a moment-to-moment basis, breathing in and out through your nose is the goal. But some of these exercises, we will breathe out through the mouth and out, because to create different levels of different brain frequencies. So we're using the breath to change our brain frequencies. So I hope that clarifies that for people that were asking. Okay, so we're going to do the bellow breath. So remember, we're breathing in. When we breathe in, we fill the belly up in the diaphragm, which is that grid of muscles, which again sends information to the brain, so that it not just comes out, but it expands out to the side. So there's a corset of muscles that go round our belly and our internal organs, and we can literally consciously expand, and the diaphragm sends the good information to the brain. And then as we consciously breathe out, we pull the diaphragm in, and we're breathing out through the nose. You might want to blow your nose before we start this. I don't know, I'm a wee bit hay fevery, which obviously I'm focusing on healing as well. So we're breathing in. So as we force the breath out through the nostrils, we pull the belly in, the diaphragm's getting pulled in. Now, this is just another exercise to get us into that expanded, light-headed state, and then we're going to go straight into a letting go session. So if you start to feel, if you're not used to doing this work, it will feel strange. You're like, oh, what's happening? If you've got a lot of fear, you don't like moving out of these. This is unfamiliar. I don't like feeling like this. Just draw back. If you find your courage, just gently, gently move with me into the expanded state. Embrace the unknown, the unfamiliar. Tune into your intuition. Is this a good place for me to go right now? And you decide whether to accelerate and expand, or whether to just hold back for a minute or two and then come back into this journey of expansion. When you go into expansion, it takes courage. There is no two ways about it, because you're moving out the unfamiliar you're moving out the familiar into the unfamiliar. It's new, okay? So the brain's going to go, what? What's this? So you're going to breathe and expand into this state, and then when you're in this expanded state, we're going to let go. We're just going to dump. We're going to dump new chemistry. We're going to create, the cell membrane's going to be in this state of tensegrity. The microtubules are going to go into tune, and we're going to connect to the unified field, to the divine, whatever you want to call it. We're going to connect into a magnificent data stream of information that allows the past to literally wash out, and for us to connect into a state of bliss. That is our intention for today. And your direct willingness to connect is what's going to take you there or hold you back from there. It's all about letting go. Let go, let go, let go. So I invite you to do that with me. Okay. So we're just going to do it with me. We'll start off quite slowly. We're just going to do one round. We're going to start off quite slowly, and then we're going to speed up. So remember, just breathing in. So like you're pumping up a lilo. Smile. Keep going at your own pace. Now we're going to speed up. And breathe all the way in and all the way out. And hold the breath out. Hold your breath and let go. Close your eyes. Retain your breath. Observe the tingling, the lightness. Let go. Let go. Let go. Find your courage to dissolve. Become more wave than particle. Letting go. Become part of the cosmos. And when you're ready to breathe in, we're going to breathe in and squeeze the energy. 3, 2, 1, breathe in. And squeeze. Squeeze the energy. Squeeze and hold. And let it go. And now we're going to do 5 hums. Keep your eyes closed and really focus in on the cells and on the energy you've created, you've built inside. Focus on the expansion as you hum out here. I want you to really allow the cells to expand and connect to the blueprint for complete healing. Okay, so breathing in. Let go and keep humming, expand. Really expand, feel that tune going through every cell. Last one, go for it. And keep your eyes closed and just feel into that vibration. We've now put ourselves into the optimum state for letting go. Feel the tingling, maybe a temperature change. Just observe what the mind's doing, what thoughts are coming in. And now I want you to come into your heart center, into the chest, and feel what is there in this moment. And become aware of your gut. So really feel the energy that's in the torso, from your throat down to the root of your spine. What is there in this moment? These powerful energy centers that hold information and transmit information. Become aware of what you can feel there in this moment. And remember, you're encouraged. Allow yourself to just expand into the energy. There's nothing to fear here. Only curiosity and understanding of what we're holding inside. And we have the power to release for greater levels of consciousness and understanding of who we are. So just for now, allow whatever is there to be there, light, dark, indifferent. Welcome it completely. It's just the past. It's not real. It's not you. Memories, inherited and otherwise, and just welcome it completely. And then just let it go with grace and effortlessness. bring in your guides and your angels and whoever else that you ask for assistance to assist in this powerful healing of letting go of everything and anything that no longer serves us. And just for now, can you welcome any stress, any anxiety around the past, around what the apparent others are doing, the illusions of suffering, and around any projections into the future that may not serve us. Can you welcome all of that and just let it go? Set it free. Smile, find your courage. Remember, anything you want to pick up again, you can do if you choose. Let go. And just tapping round, I'm letting go of everything that no longer serves me. I have found the courage to release the past, to forgive myself and others, and to set myself free from trauma and pain and suffering, to let go of all attachments that no longer serve me. I have the power, I am the power. I have courage, I'm standing in my power, and I'm letting go, and I allow myself to rise. I have a strong purpose here on earth at this time, and I'm letting go of all fear, and I allow my courage to appear. I have the power. I am healing. And just bring it all up. Just allow the energy to move. Feel it, heal it. And just be patient. Just allow the energy to move. Stay open. Stay expanded. Stay strong. Fearless. Stay expanded. Let go. Let go. And welcome all trying to figure it out. What they doing, why they doing it. Why? Welcome all wishing it was different. Wishing anyone was different so that you can be happy. And welcome all feeling that it's personal, taking things personally, poor me, all justifications. And welcome all feeling of waiting. If only things would change, then I could be happy. Welcome all of that. Bring the whole party in. Bring the whole story you've been clinging to about who you thought you truly were, that you were not the story. Welcome it all. And then just let it go. Let it go. Once and for all. Find your courage. Step over the cliff. Set it free. Welcome all wanting control, security, approval, separation and oneness, and just let that go too. Let go of it all. I invite you to step into the unknown, where holding on is a thing of the past. Let it go. Letting go is the new black. Let it go, let it go, let it go. And now we see ourselves the way we would love to be, free from fear, free from judgment of ourselves and others, free from overwhelm and fatigue, free from dis-ease. The mind, friends with the mind, observing the mind, not being controlled by the mind, not being controlled by the very limited and often dangerous points of view of others. None of that. None of that. No Bill Gates, no Fauci, no Boris, no Nicola, none of it. Free to really, really be your own source of intelligence and trust. Free from the belief that others know better than you. Imagine feeling so completely confident and whole that you can just be without the labels and the concepts that we've been so beautifully given. Often by men, I may add, in suits with money and no consciousness. No female energy. So just tap into that. It's not about your genitalia. It's about the balance of the yin and the yang. The male and the female. All of that. Amen to that. So as the rise of the divine feminine truly, truly begins, we need to find our courage to stand up for ourselves and for our children and our grandchildren. This is our mission here on earth. So see yourselves there, finding the courage, letting go of the fear for the greater good of all, for our communities, for Heal Scotland, where everyone matters and everyone counts regardless of income or title. For the whole of Europe and the whole of the world, that everybody gets a voice and everybody is heard, and that we can overcome the darkness and move into a place of the 5-dimensional reality where suffering no longer exists, where the ego is our friend, where we can move past the status quo and we care about our planet again, and every animal, insect, bird and fish and shellfish on it. Everything matters. Yeah, the new earth. That's where we're putting our focus and attention. We'll have to stand up for others and for the planet. That's why we're doing this work, and that's why we're here at this time. So thank you for joining us. Great, Lisa. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, thank you for being on this call and for being part of the change and being brave enough to do the work. To do the work for the greater good of all and everyone on this planet and everything in this planet. Thank you, guys. Now is the time. We need to let go of the fear. We need to find our courage and we need to step into our power. And we need to do it collectively. We need numbers. And those that are ready can stand up and take their power and be the change that we want to see. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And I'll see you tomorrow for Live for 5. Spread the word. Share the videos. Anybody you know that can be helped. Spread the link for the book. Thanks, Mary. Thank you, Susan. Thanks for joining, Pamela. Miriam, it's great to see you all here. Huge love. Ciao.